Hi everybody, it's Ashley with you for this week's Papertrey Ink Saturday Showcase feature. I am going to be showcasing Woodblock Print stamp set and the coordinating stencils. Let's take a look at them. This is the Woodblock Print stamp set. It comes on this one sheet here, and you get all of these different types of detailed elements, images that are inspired by textiles or other types of prints you would find in different cultures or in fabrics or things like that. You have this paisley one here, and this one can fit inside of this one. You can do whatever you like. You can make all sorts of backgrounds. You can use all sorts of techniques, especially when you have the coordinating stencils. So these are the different types of stencils you can use. So you can, of course, ink blend with these, watercolor with these, use some sort of modeling paste or any other type of application that you want to adhere to cardstock or something like that. This was my favorite one here. It's the big one. I like to do this one on full backgrounds of a card. And this one is a smaller one, and you can do all sorts of different patterns with this as well. And you don't have to do a full card background. You can also just do a partial. And this is the one I'm going to be working with today. And this one pairs with this particular image here. So you can actually add the color, stencil in the color, or add the shape stenciled some kind of way, whatever technique you're using, and then coordinate with the actual stamp set. Or you can also pair it with another stencil, like these two paired together. So there are a lot of things you can do with the stencils and the stamps. So I'm just going to be sharing one of them with you today. So let's take a look at the card while I have you here so you can see it. This is what I'm going to be creating today. I used this stencil to watercolor the background, and then I added this stamp detail over top in the same color. And then I just added a sentiment, and it was really easy to pull together. Very beautiful type of background pattern that you can create with watercolor. Again, you can ink blend or whatever you like. All right, so let's get started. I have here my watercolor paper, and I'm going to put my re-inker palette here. So I'm going to be using different colors on this one. So I'm just going to add my stencil wherever I want the pattern to kind of look like on my card base. And I don't have my card adhered to this, but I could do that if I just kind of adhere it to my work surface here. And that way my cardstock won't move, and then I can adhere the stencil. So I'm kind of trying to make it even. In the middle. I'm just holding my stencil down to prevent too much bleeding. All right, and then I'm going to go to the third row and do the same thing in the middle because this repeats the pattern. All right, I'm going to add one here. And a little bit here on the bottom row. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Here. And here. All right, the next color I'm going to do is Harvest Gold. going to put Harvest Gold here. And also here. I'm going to add some Aqua Mist on this one. And here. Here. And here. That Aqua Mist is so pretty. Alright, lift your stencil and then you have your watercolor background. Very swooshy, but you have your template there. It's not meant to be like ink blending where it's perfect. It's more so meant to be a splash of ink. Alright, so once your watercolor paper has dried, the next thing to do is to take the coordinating stamp from the Woodblock Print stamp set, and this one that coordinates with the actual stencil we were using, coordinates with this stencil here. Take it and ink it whatever color you want. You can use the same color, you can use a brighter color or something like that to make it pop. It's up to you. So I have a couple of samples here. We can try a few different things just so you can see the varied results. So I'm going to basically take it up a notch with the actual inking. So instead of using the actual ink color, I'm going to use the brighter version of the ink color, the next step up. So this was Aqua Mist. Instead of using Aqua Mist to ink this, I'm going to use Hawaiian Shores to make it brighter. And I'm going to do this on all of the ones that are inked with Aqua Mist. My next one is going to be Summer Sunrise, to be a little bit of a brighter than the Harvest Gold. It's going to be a little bit more of an orangey look, but I think it'll pop with that contrast a little bit more. And you can see how at first the watercolor, you're like, oh man, it's a little bit bleeding, a little bit too much. I don't know how that's going to look, but it ends up looking really good. Alright, the next one I'm going to do is, for the Berry Sorbet, I'm going to offset it with Pure Poppy. I could do a pink, could do a Raspberry Fizz or a red. So I think I'm going to do the Pure Poppy. I want it to be really pop off of that Berry Sorbet. So that's how it looks. Looks really pretty. I like the the varying colors like that. Just to show you something a little bit different, if you wanted to take another version of this and use a neutral, let's say like a true black ink all over, and have the color pop in the background, you can do that as well, and I'll show you how that looks. And this is just using the same color ink repeatedly, so it's going to have a different effect. And now you can see how it looks if you were to use a neutral. Still a different version of it. Very pretty still, and you can do something completely different. Alright, so for the last part of my card, I'm going to show you how you can use sentiment. I'm going to be using sentiment from Layered Banner Banter stamp set, and I'm going to be using this one here is what I used already to actually stamp it, but these are the coordinating dies that coordinate with this particular stamp set. You can use them alone as well with other sentiments. It's really cool because you die cut this one. This is like the base of the banner, and then you die cut this one that goes over top, and it's the top layer. And then you can either die cut this from regular cardstock or pattern paper to get that little peek through here, like you see on my original card, till you get that detail here with the stripes. Now I stamped these stripes with Fresh Note ink on true black cardstock, but you can also use pattern paper. So here is my Layered Banter banner in white cardstock that's cut out, and I stamped the stripes in soft stone already. So I'm just going to, and this is how it looks by itself before you actually add the overlay. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and add a sentiment so you can see how this looks. So I like to use the palm of my hand, the oil from my hand sometimes, versus an eraser to prime my stamp to condition it when it has never been used, just to get that little layer off. Alright, so I'm going to ink this in true black ink. Now I take some foam adhesive and then add this over top. You don't have to layer them with foam adhesive. It can be layered flatly as well. And then add your back to your card base to make it kind of pop and stand up, and there you go. Really cool looking background patterns made with Woodblock Prints. There's so many different options and ways you can use these stamps and stencils. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's Saturday Showcase featuring Woodblock Prints. So many fun ways to use this stamp set and the stencils, so many techniques. You can use just the stamps, you can use just the stencils really, or you can use the stamps with the stencils like I did today. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.